and the Canadian, Canadian is a sweet corn and it's really nice, okay? But it's very soft,
Yes.
okay? Now, the African one is hard,
Okay.
okay? And the truth about it is the way I love corn, if I travel to Nigeria, I freeze roasted corn and bring it with me.
Oh, really?
If my husband travels to Nigeria, he has to bring roasted corn with him. So that's how bad it is. So I really enjoyed. I just had, they all have just allowed me to enjoy almost all the corn that is available. So I'm having a blast.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry
Yeah.
our corn is so soft.
What?
I'm sorry
No, I,
it's
I
so
I
soft.
love it. I still see. Now I figured out how to get corn all year round in Canada. Okay, so even though it's soft, I love it that way. So what I do is in Walmart I discovered, for in warmer weather like now, corn is out and we can buy fresh
Yeah.
corn, right? But then corn goes away and we have all these ones that they wrap in the plastic and they're so
Mhm.
expensive, and I'm like, why am I. So I got one day I saw at Walmart they had this nibbles, it's I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's the name, nibbles, and it's packed in like eight chunks like that, wrapped and frozen. I
Yes.
tried it. I put them in my air fryer and I roasted them. They were really nice. Since
Oh,
that time,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Since that, you'd never come to my house and not find like 6 packs of that in my freezer. And as I'm finishing, I'm going, before it's finished, I'm back at Walmart to buy more, And yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
we
it's
have a little town just south of us, but
yeah.
um, and it's called Tabor, and
Okay.
it has really special corn.
Oh,
It's way sweeter than the stuff you can buy in this. So when they come out with their peaches and cream, it's just
yeah.
amazing. But they grow
Oh,
it
wow.
right there. So it's like a special time when the Tabor corn comes out. It's on the news. We all run around. There's like little trucks all over the place, and we buy lots. And you can buy like a whole like 20-pound bag of it, and
Oh,
you can
wow. Okay.
do that
Freeze
too.
them.
So yeah,
Oh,
and lots of
okay.
people blanch them and just freeze them on the cob.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I'm planning to do that this summer. I'm going to, because I didn't my freezer was small and I just recently bought a new freezer. So now that I have a bigger freezer, I'm planning this summer the freezer is going to be full of corn. Like you come to my house
nothing
and you
else.
see corn, nothing else.
Heck with the rest of the family. I am having.
Forget tomatoes.
I
I
don't
buy
even want to
tomatoes.
get
I buy tomatoes and pepper in summer as well. But I'll make time. I'll make space for tomatoes and red peppers.
That's
But
awesome.
corn would be like half the freezer for sure.
I love that. That's awesome.
So have you been?
I've been pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hurt my leg in California, so I've been really distracted by my leg. I'm trying to get it
Yeah.
to stop hurting, but other than that, I mean, it's been going fairly good. I had a really good conversation with, I'm not sure if you saw some, like she comments a lot. Her name is
Uh-huh.
oh, what's her name again? Gina.
In your group.
She started, yeah, last live. She was on there and we had a good exchange. And then she reached out to me on Messenger. We went back and forth for a while. Um, she is definitely a drifter because
Okay.
I mentioned the word emotional, and she was like, it wasn't emotional, and she just shut down. And then I had to bring her back because she was like,
Hmm.
no, there's no emotion involved in this. And then it was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
And then her next question was, she was raised in a hoarding home, like, and and there was a point in her life where she became that as well, like it happened to her, and she's just
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
just don't understand why that happened. I just want to know why that
Of
happened.
course.
And I went,
Of
that's when I
course.
went to the emotional piece, and she was like, it wasn't emotional.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's not quite ready.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. So the way, and we're going to get to that, the way to handle some of these things, okay? It's very similar to, that what they need is broccoli,
Hmm.
right? But you have to give them chocolate,
Yeah.
or else they're never gonna come, right?
Yeah.
So when you begin to, and I'm not sure if Kathy has given you this yeah, this analogy, and this system of, even when you're communicating in the DMs, try as much as possible, you know as you're doing that, try to use more chocolate stuff.
Yeah, I
Okay.
started to do that because she panicked under any kind of
Yeah.
emotional talk. So
Yeah.
then I just, we just talked about tips and tricks, and then we finally near the end, I was able to say that, a lot of this stuff comes from our family of origins, and we get taught that, and we're never taught how to deal with all of this stuff other than that
Mm-hmm.
because they only know what they know.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a little more responsive to that. And then,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was quite some time, so I had to end the conversation because it was going on
Yeah.
too long. And
Exactly.
so I just said, like, you know this is kind of, I'd love to know more about your journey, about your story, and whatever. And then I just said something about, like, it would be great to set up like a quick Zoom call, 45 minutes, so we can chat a little bit more about what things that you're struggling with, or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is you want to talk about. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, she shut that down. She was like, no, I'm not ready for coaching. I'm not into that right now. I don't need that
Mm-hmm.
part of it right now. So she's
Mm-hmm.
just,
Mm-hmm.
she thinks she has it all under control, but
Yeah.
then her questions are giving me a totally different
Obviously.
vibe, right?
Obviously.
So
Obviously.
so
Obviously. Yeah.
she's still there.
Mm-hmm.
She's still commenting, and I still make sure to do that. And then I also asked permission if I could check in with her in a while. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
next week I'll quickly message her again and see how she's
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then also yesterday I was on one of my other groups, and somebody, can't remember exactly, I'd have to go and look at it, but
Mm-hmm.
she was worried that she was the only one who had anxiety around letting go of things and stuff. And so I just did a comment about how you know like, I applaud her courage for sharing. And then I talked about how, shame kind of comes into that. That's where a lot of the anxiety comes from. And I gave a Brene Brown quote,
Mm-hmm.
and said, the first step to getting past that is speaking your truth. And you're doing that here. And that's commendable that you're
Mm-hmm.
here being so brave and
Mm-hmm.
doing this. And
Mm-hmm.
that I applaud other people who are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those women who liked my comment asked to join my group today. So
That's
that's
very
a
good.
good thing, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a very good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. And the it's like in baseball or in any of these ball games, right? And that's why I like to ask for the wins, every week, because there are some actions that you take that actually, if you keep taking those actions, it leads to the results that you're looking for, right? And that's why, I like to celebrate that kind of, the actions that you're taking, and conversations in groups, and having really transformational conversations, even in the DMs. They are really powerful. And you would remember that I had conversations with you in the
Mhm.
DMs, right?
Yeah.
So that's really good. Now, when you begin to talk to people, and you give them bits and pieces, you help them in the conversation and give them some solutions, okay? But always remember chocolate, okay?
Yeah.
After you've given them a little bit, you can say something like, this is exactly what I do in my this framework that I take my clients through. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be very glad to chat with you some more if you're ready, so that way you're always bringing it back to, I'm not just coaching, I'm not just in the DMs helping everybody. I'm just here now, right? For you. And I'm here, okay, for you. Okay. So that, what I could also do is I could give you, and this is actually part of, what we're going to do in stage 3, but I could give you um some conversations, some of my conversations that you can adapt. Okay. So, for
Okay.
example, when I start to talk to somebody, and you can look at some of the conversations that we had,
Yeah, I
right?
did. I went back. That's when I was like, this is like been going on for over an hour. So I need to figure out how
Uh-huh.
do I get not out of it, but I need to kind of like, okay. Like she
Yes.
would,
Yes.
and I don't know if she spends all day on here because anything I post, anything that I comment, she's on it like
Yeah.
instantaneously. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, she's going to stay here
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
time. So I
And
went to
and,
the
and that's
conversation
yeah.
we had, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how did she end this? Because like,
Yeah.
and then I did that, and then I checked somebody else that I was talking with, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how do they? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's extremely important because, and then the thing is, you don't respond immediately.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I gave her a little bit, but then also because she sent me when she asked me on Facebook, can we reach out to you in Messenger? And I said, of course.
Hmm.
She sent me 6 voice messages, and I
That's
didn't
this
have
girl
time.
in your
this
group.
this woman, yeah, like six
Okay.
of them right away, but I
Okay.
didn't have time to listen to them, so I left
Okay.
them until the next morning, and then I was
Okay.
listening to them, and then all of a sudden she came on and she started deleting them because she was regretting what she said.
I
So
see.
I mean that happens often, right? Because
I
that's that
see.
shame piece that's playing,
Emotion.
right? So
Yeah.
she's going back,
Yeah.
and it's a good thing I'd listened to them twice because I wanted to
Okay.
get all the information to
Yeah.
answer her. I wanted to make sure that I formulated a good answer. I didn't want
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
and then, but then she was also she was in a shame storm at that moment. And so she
Yeah.
was deleting them as I was trying to answer her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then what do you do in that situation?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, what's going on? I guess
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
have, I guess it would be okay for me to go, hey, I listened to your messages, but then all of a sudden I noticed that you deleted them. What's going
No,
on? Right.
no,
I guess,
you may not even say it's okay for her to delete them.
yeah.
Like we're not here policing people.
Mm-mm.
He's her right to delete whatever she said.
Well,
But you could say something like, I think I heard you say that
yeah.
in your message,
Yeah. And
and
that's what
and so
yeah, I did
yeah,
do
yeah,
that. I was able
uh-huh,
to them. And then she came
uh-huh.
back, and she kind of came down from that, but it was
Okay.
just like, holy crap. I was like, wait.
It's very interesting because these are people, and that's why I was saying your drifters are the first level, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, we need more of the next level
Yeah. I'm trying.
kind of people.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting the last couple that have joined. They're one of
Yeah,
them was someone that I worked with in the past. She's also a friend,
yeah.
and then she started asking a little bit of bits and pieces. So,
Hmm.
and then the lady today was like, "No, I'm okay. I just want to get some inspiration here and stuff." So
Hmm.
they're the next level people. So
Exactly.
they're coming. Um,
Exactly.
and so that's one of my questions was like, I know she's a drifter. She's a high
Hmm.
maintenance drifter
Hmm.
too. So
Hmm.
she's
Hmm.
probably not going to buy for a long time, if at all.
No, no,
So
yeah.
in that situation, do I just keep checking in with her and then don't
Yeah,
answer right away, right? And then
yeah,
just,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because the one of the reasons why we do coaching is we're there to love people, right? We're there to give them that support, and but not. This is also a business, right? So you can't just keep people there just for no reason, right?
that's a hard
Aha,
thing for me.
aha.
That's a really hard thing for me.
No, but that's why I made you do that exercise of right, identify your drifters. We're not focusing on them. We need to find the next level people. Those are the ones that we need to focus more
And
on.
I'm starting to recognize the
Yeah,
difference
yeah,
between the two. At
yeah,
first I wasn't sure with her, but after asking some questions, and I just kept bringing it back to questions to make her
yeah.
think about it, because she's
Mm.
also an agreeer, right? She will agree with
Hold
anything
on
that
a
I say.
second. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me
can
now?
hear you. Yep. Not sure what happened to my AirPods. Yeah. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So you were saying that you kept it with just about
I keep
questions.
bringing it back to her, and because she will just agree with whatever I say.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, what I was trying to do is just ask the questions. It's like I want her to think about it on her own terms, but
Mm.
instead of, because I'm noticing that whatever anybody says anywhere, she just agrees to that,
Yeah.
or she disagrees. There's no in between. There's not like, it's just like she's really, and that's why I think it's hard for me, because I know she's really lost and she's
Mm.
really struggling. She
Yeah.
just doesn't have the awareness yet of
Yeah.
why she's struggling, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's hard for me, because that's my social work piece, right? Like,
I see.
it's that rescuer piece of me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I keep going back to yours and another and Kathy's, and I kind of have been kind of like, okay, well, how do I do this? And and I go back to your, I was looking through your comments with other people too, and how you're doing that. So I'm trying to kind of, I'm feeling a little bit better about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How that happened. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
was a good lesson, because I saw how I can lose her really quickly
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
keep her engaged, right? And keeping her engaged, and maybe eventually she would come back for
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. And sometimes your content, you will be designing them for her,
Yes.
or you speak to her,
Yes.
but
Which,
even when you're
yeah.
speaking to her, what you're trying to do is show that there's a gap. Okay.
Yeah. And
You
that is
see
that's
behind
the
it.
piece that I'm struggling with for my live this week. Like, I want to talk about, I want to start talking about my pillars and my let go method or framework, however I want to
Mhm,
say it. But
mhm.
when I started to write it out, I started to like, how do I do that? Like, how do I talk
So
to them? And then, yeah, what you just said.
yeah. So how do I make them know that there's a gap? What
Yes.
we're trying to do, yeah, what we're trying to do is, because most of the times people would think all they need is just tips.
Yeah.
Okay, they just need tips, they need equipment, they need, somebody to help them clean their house and all that. Okay, but really, it's not just that. Okay, but we're not gonna just say to them that, oh, you think you need this, you think you
Yeah.
need this, but that's not just it. You actually need emotional help. No, they're gonna say to you, you're crazy. I know myself. I don't need and they shut you off, right there. Uh-huh. But what you want to do is you want to show them that if you're not doing this, maybe there's actually something else. Okay, so we want to show that there's something that is probably, there's a possibility that and again, for each person is different. There's a possibility that you are okay. So I was chatting with a lady actually last week, and prior to chatting with her, many of the people that I talk to would not go live because they're scared to go on camera, or they've tried and it didn't work, so they, imposter syndrome or whatever starts to set in. This lady, what she told me was, I'm not scared to go on camera. I can go on camera, but the only reason why I wasn't doing my live videos is because I don't like Facebook or something like that. I don't like keeping people on Facebook because social media is killing people and blah 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 blah. She went on and on. Okay, and because of the fact that my content was focused on imposter syndrome, and you see, I lost her
Yeah.
because I was directing her to something else, and to her, that wasn't her problem. Meanwhile, I know that's her problem, imposter, that is
Yeah.
making her feel like that, but I can't prove it,
Right.
because my content didn't say that, right? So I have to come back and find a way to bring her back to, the conversation, to see that there's still that gap. Okay, social media is not, the fact that social media is killing people, it shouldn't affect you, but why is it affecting you? Okay.
Right. And so I guess I kind of did do that, because with the conversation, I went from like the emotional, and then I went down and I took it to a kind of surfacey kind of conversation. And then I brought it back to like your family of origin and how we don't learn how to, we're never taught how to deal with certain things. And
What was her problem? What was her problem? I'm
okay, so
thinking family of origin is let's talk about it a little bit and brainstorm.
okay,
I'm
okay.
wondering
So
if family of origin is looking like broccoli to me. Okay.
well, it was because uh so she was
Okay.
raised
One
in
moment. I need to sort out mosquito issues. Just one moment.
uh-oh.
Okay. How do they plug this again? I need to plug this. Okay. I plugged it. I don't want to deal with mosquitoes. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
No.
Okay, so her issue was that she was raised in a hoarding household.
Okay.
And then so she swung completely to the other side of like complete minimalism, where like she told me all of this stuff. She had one fork and one spoon and one knife. That's all she had, right? So she was like minimalistic to the extreme.
Wow.
Then she ended up having to move. She didn't really say why, what happened, but just by the undertone of what she was saying, there must have been something, a lot of stuff going on at the same time, a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm.
Mhm.
She moved, she didn't unpack anything, and then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but over time, she started to do the other extreme where she couldn't even open her front door. She had,
Is it the same lady that couldn't unpack for so long?
oh, this is a different woman. So these are the people that I'm attracting.
Wow. Wow. So
So
it's a
I know
common thing.
it's what?
It's a common trend
It
in
is
your
a
group.
common thing, and it's a common thing because the woman that couldn't unpack, she was still living in 2009 when George W. Bush, when the
Yeah.
recession happened and he, declared war on Iraq and
Yeah.
all of that stuff happened. She was still blaming him for her losing her house and moving on. And so she didn't unpack because she was still living back here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm attracting the right people, I think, because it's the emotional piece. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
these people don't realize yet that I'm
Mm-hmm.
blaming George W. Bush for something that I'm doing right now, which he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even know who you are. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And so this woman, she went from the like she's doing a normal process that a lot of people do when they're raised in a hoarding situation. It's an emotional piece because they can't have friends over. They can't, there's that embarrassment and that shame. It's a secret that they're holding in their family often, right? So that they carry that with them. And so if they don't get help for that, if they don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
this is what will happen. It'll show up. And that's why I mean, there's that emotional, mental, and physical clutter are pretty much in a cycle, like they cannot be separated, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she went to this extreme and then all of a sudden was at this, went to where exactly where she didn't want to go, which is, as we all know, when you focus on what you don't want, what happens, right? You kind of create that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so this is what she was talking, and then and once we started talking, she was like rapid firing comment or messages at me. I couldn't even get one message out. She was just rapid. So she wants to tell someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just was like, and then she goes correct to the other side, was like, I did all of this stuff. I organized, I decluttered, I got rid of all of this stuff and the blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, let's tone it down. We need to pull it in. And so I just said, I hear how hard you've worked on getting rid of your physical clutter. I hear you. I truly do. And I believe you, because she's had experiences where people don't believe her that it was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said that. I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And she calmed down. And then we had our conversation. So I asked, how can I support you?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then she's like, I don't want to go back to hoarding. And I'm like, I understand that. That's valid.
Mm-hmm.
How are you maintaining it right now? So she told me. I'm like, that sounds good. How would you say it's going for you right now? She says it's going
Mhm.
okay. And I'm like, okay, so let's go from there.
Mhm.
And then we had this kind of generic back and forth about the whole thing and some tips and stuff. And then she kept apologizing for the anxiety and stuff. And I'm just trying to find my message. And I reassured her I don't judge people
Mhm.
for what they
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
But the family of origin thing came up because she kept bringing up her family
Mhm.
or the hoarding,
Mhm.
and I can't find my. Oh, I get that because her response was, I've done it since I was a kid. The women in my family kind of have on my mom's side, kind of all have done this. My mom
Mhm.
hid in her house and was a self-proclaimed hoarder. I now want to have it be a home, or she wants her home to be active and she wants people in. She went on and on. And I said, I get that. It can be hard to remove ourselves from our family of origin experiences. It's totally understandable that you move towards the opposite extreme to try to distance yourself from that situation and any pain that could have come from that time. So she agreed with me.
Mhm.
And I said, it happens often that we try hard not to become something only
Mhm.
to find ourselves becoming what we don't want.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
did bring it back.
Mhm.
And then I said, I've had my struggles with family issues as well, and I get it.
Mhm.
And but it's about also discovering my own path. And I made it about me
Mhm.
instead of her. And she was more receptive to that. And I
Mhm.
just said, I want that for you as well. And
Mhm.
then eventually I said, like, we could talk about this more face to face,
Mhm.
kind of over Zoom. And she's not receptive to that yet. But
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
and I made sure that I, said like asking for help is a big strength. And so I did kind of bring it back to the emotional stuff, and she was
Mhm.
calmer and was able to kind of bring it back in. These are the people that I keep getting conversations with. So I'm
Mm.
not sure.
Yeah, it's because the messaging is still focused on your drifters. Okay,
Yeah,
your messaging, and your social worker mindset
yeah,
is coming in the way because you think I can help them.
yeah,
The truth of the matter is really you can't.
no. And
Okay.
I know that logically, I just automatically go back to that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's why I'm like struggling so much to write
Yeah.
this week's
Yeah. No, it takes a little bit of time and getting used to focusing on your what's your next level? Your
beginners.
the beginners, yeah.
Yeah.
It's you have to there was a time in my videos, okay, I have a board in my office, and on that board I actually wrote the name of someone that I knew personally that was not my first level but ready to take action, and so that every single day as I look up I remember this is the person, not this other one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that way, and this was a couple of years ago, maybe like 2 3 years ago. Okay, because I realized that I was always getting back to helping people and I'm convincing them to even think that
Yeah.
they can sell online and they can
That's what
start
it
a
feels
business
like. Yeah.
online. Aha, so but that's not who we want. Those are not the people that I'm gonna pay. In short, even if they pay, it's not gonna be worth it for them because they're gonna pay you and they're not gonna take action. Even if they take action, they're still far back to get results. Yeah. So it's better to
Okay.
mentally stop focusing on them and focus on the people that have taken some actions, and you remember, did you do the exercise from last week?
I've been working on that slowly.
Can
um,
we could work on it together. We could brainstorm that together now because the reason why there's one there there's one statement there, and if you have it you can share your screen, that I'd like to see your ideal client. There's a statement there that I'd like to work on with you so that when you're talking on in your videos, let that help those people. Because even sometimes I listen to things that are going on in your group from the beginning, I remember feeling you're trying to inspire and encourage people, right? And it's
Right.
not just that. It's not about inspiration. It's about action taking. Okay,
And
so
that's, yeah, that I know that's the piece that I'm missing. And I know that this is just quickly written here.
yeah, no, that's fine. So it says my clients are typically middle-aged women. Are they mostly single or married? Let's
These
think about
two
that.
were single.
Mhm.
Some moms have reached out to me, but those are probably the ones. I would say that the ones that are my beginners are like moms of older teens who they're typically in their 40s to mid to late 50s
Mhm.
in transition. And
Mhm.
those ones, I think I have the conversations with them and then I'm like, oh, they're fine. That's the thought
Mhm.
I have. And those are
That's it.
probably the ones I need to have more conversations with.
Those are the ones that you need to have conversation. You know
Yeah.
why? Because these are people, they have a reason to want to change and they have a consequence for not changing.
Right.
The
And
other ones,
yeah, yeah,
those other ones, there's no reason, there's nothing pushing them. They're just looking for somebody to complain to and just complain and complain
yeah,
and complain,
yeah.
right? Uh-huh. So it's already affecting their marriage, it's affecting their children, the relationship with their children, maybe even their jobs, and so these are things that you need to, when you know these people so well.
Yeah.
Okay, it's easy. Like you see, I said my customers are typically online coaches, okay, with a course or service that they provide. Okay, they are either currently going live or have gone live before and looking for ways to monetize their videos. Okay, so it's very clear. It's not beginners. It's not people saying, should I go live? Should I not? If anybody is still trying to say, should I go live? They don't need me. They need YouTube.
Right.
Okay, and that was a place where I was stuck too. I was encouraging people to go live. Okay, as in go live as a beginner.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh. But instead of doing that, I want to say you've gone live before, but then you stopped going live because you are not getting results. Those are my clients. Those are people that will pay
So
me.
yeah, my clients are the ones who've already done some stuff. They've kind of paid for a few things. They're just looking for more support and how to
Yeah.
make that change. They're not quite sure why it's not sticking.
Okay. So right here, let me just go back to, if you're getting anything, you can be typing as I'm reading. It says my clients are typically middle-aged women who are in a life transition such as empty nest, downsizing, widowed. Okay. Now that I I'll still pick one. Okay.
Just
I'll
one?
still pick one. What?
What do you mean you pick one? Like one of
One empty nest, instead of, whether it's downsizing or widow. Okay, I'll pick one. And which one would you pick?
the
If
for me,
because
the
I
empty nest
help.
and downsizing kind of go hand in hand. Well, they do because that was my life.
Exactly. That's where I was going. I want you to
Okay.
know that your ideal client, did you pay for any kind of help, uh, to get support
For empty
to
nest downsizing.
yeah.
Well, I guess to kind of because I was in the organizing mastermind at that time. So I was also working through it. And then I had other organizers. I didn't really pay them, but I had other organizers to bounce stuff off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of figured it out on my own only because I was already professionally
In
organizing.
the
So
Yes,
I was
yes.
already in it. And then I was also because I had my background. So I didn't
Mhm.
technically, I guess, for
In
that.
the mastermind, that one, were you paying?
Oh yeah, I paid a lot of money for that.
Okay. Now, that mastermind, why did you join that mastermind?
Because I wanted to figure out how to make my business work. Right.
Okay.
I had also taken I'd already paid for a small portion of their offering.
Mm-hmm.
and done that training. And then I wanted to take it the step further.
Okay. Okay. And the reason why I'm asking is you are your own ideal clients. Now, you didn't go into that group thinking you needed emotional help with clutter or anything, okay? Or, but there was some pain you had that you were trying to solve, okay? And you were trying to remove, and you invested knowing well that you're going to, yes, get your business built, but you're going to have all these other great minds to help you personally, right? And so your ideal clients, okay, may not be in the organizing mastermind as for a business.
Right.
Okay. But we need to still look at what exactly is it that they paid for. They paid for something to solve something that they think they need to solve. Meanwhile, you know that the problem is they're holding lifestyle, like background and emotional baggages and different things that they're holding on to. Okay. So now in this area now, we said widowed or downsizing, empty nesting. That widowed, they would still, like, for me personally, I help network marketers. There's one of my big clients right now. She's a network marketer. And I have affiliate marketers. I have, there's this other guy that I worked with. He was, what's it called? An app developer, like a software engineer. Okay. And, so I work with all sorts of people, but in my message and when I'm talking, I say coaches. Okay. So it's good to, to have that kind of understanding so that when you're talking, you're only talking to one person and your message will be clear. Now, when you start to, whatever you're saying, people don't even hear that I said coaches. Okay. But for me, it helps me to communicate just one message. And then, it's attractive to the people that have the problem that I solve. Right. So right now I would want to say who are in a live transition. We can still we'll keep it, but I would like to remove widowed. Okay. And even, or busy moms dealing with kids and family clutter. Okay. Now let's talk about that. Would it be life transitions such as empty nesting and downsizing, or busy moms dealing with kids and family clutter?
I think I am typically having more conversations with older women
Okay.
yeah, the
Okay.
emptiness.
Now, older women, why would they want to change? Why would
Usually
they
it's
want?
because, well, in my instance, it was because my kids have left home. I can't be just the mom anymore. I have to learn how to create a life for me,
Mm-hmm.
like live and figure out who I am and what it
Okay.
is I want out of
Okay.
life and who I
Okay.
want to be in life, which is
Okay.
a big
Okay.
piece of the habit building, right? It's like, who do you want to be? Not what kind of house do you want to have, but who do you want to be in your life? Who do you envision yourself as being?
Okay. 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 So then, who do you want to be is a bigger statement. Who do you want to be? If you ask me who do you want to be, where would you find me? Where will I be from, like at that point, where would we find you?
Okay,
What
wait.
were the things that you were searching? What were the things that you were searching online? And
Okay. This is the problem that I'm struggling with, right? So the who do you want to be and how do you want your life to feel
mhm,
is, I don't know where they would see. This is where I've always had this problem. It's like people keep telling me use the organizing to bring them in and then
yeah,
keep them there, but I don't know how to do that transition. That makes sense.
transition to who do you
Like
want
I
to
don't
be?
know how to, okay, so I'm using the organizing to bring them in and um I can't I'm not working with them hands on, so it's not going to be the same, and it's
Yeah.
going to be more coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to work with more people, I think, in the getting organizing piece. Okay, wait. Let me explain. I'm not explaining this really well, but when I became an empty nester,
Okay.
it's really when I became like I organized and stuff with my kids, but it was a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
When they moved out, it became more about who it was I wanted to be in that life, in my life, right?
Okay.
What did I want to feel like, and who did I want to be and show up as every day?
Okay.
So in my transition, it wasn't just also like saying goodbye to being a mom in that way, but becoming a mom in a different way, and then becoming the person, not that I used to be, but similar to that person. Like, who was that person? And discovering,
You had
rediscovering
children.
who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
then the whole organizing piece, once I started to let go of stuff, all of this other stuff came up. And then I had to start to work through that.
Okay. Okay. So you had, when your children left the house, you had a lot of things that you tell me more about that. What was the letting go? What did you have to let go of, and what did you have to work through to let go of those?
Well, physically, we had too much crap. So we had to let go of that.
Like what? Like what?
Stuff, too much kid stuff, too much stuff that was in our house. Like, over the years, you just don't have time to deal with all of that other stuff. And then all of a sudden all your storage rooms are full, all of this stuff that we collect over, 20 plus years, right?
Okay. Okay.
And then that, as you do the process of letting go of that stuff, there's a lot of emotional stuff that starts to kind of bubble to the
That's
surface
good. I see.
that you haven't had time to deal with when you have
Yeah.
kids, when you have a
Yeah.
busy life,
Ah.
when you're younger.
Okay.
And that's the kind of stuff I mean. So then
Like.
that bubbles up, and then you have to work through that, and then something else comes up, and then it becomes totally, that organizing piece is still there, but it becomes about
Okay.
organizing yourself.
Okay,
Does that
okay.
make
So
sense?
so you see, I got it. I got it. So
Okay.
you see what I was saying about the people that you're helping, they don't even know that they have all those emotional
Yes.
piece. Like when you started, you just felt, "Oh my God, I have so much stuff. How do I get all these things out?"
Yes.
Right? And then as you began to do it, you began to see different things come up to the surface that you had no clue you had. So now if you begin to say to someone, our ancestors did this, that's why it's too far, you're going too far. They don't it's not even there at all. Okay? You're scaring them away. Right?
Okay.
So that's why we have to, it's more now in the, I mean, we'll need to decide whether it's empty nesters or busy moms, okay? But for you, it was, empty nesters that want to get rid of family clutter, right?
Yes.
And then they want to learn how to control. Okay, I'm saying they they all want to learn. They want to learn how to get
Okay.
control over clutter. Okay, um, I want to get rid of.
So they want to gain control over the clutter in their homes.
Mhm. They
And
don't
the
know
tips and
how.
ideas is how they come looking for tips and ideas on how to do
Okay.
that.
Okay, so let's follow the pattern that I have up there. My customers are typically online coaches with a course or a service they provide. They're either currently going live or have gone live before and are looking for ways to monetize their videos. So now they're looking for, what are they looking for? in
Uh,
their homes for good, right? Okay, and they're not clear on to how to what?
create. Oh,
Don't put routines. Routines, these are chocolate words. Okay? Routines
okay.
is a word, is like, I don't even go there, right? We want something. Systems is good. Habits, even habits I would run away from, because it's like a, I need to achieve it. Okay? If I meet someone today that says I wanna lose weight, and I say, what you need to do is you need to create a habit of eating broccoli every day, they'll run away, right? But if I tell them I can actually show you a way to still eat chocolate and lose weight, they'll be like, okay, what's that? Okay, right? So they need create system that will help them get and stay organized, okay, without giving up without giving up all the things they love, okay, but they are
Which
not
is
able
a
to.
very common one. People think that professional organizers make them. I've seen that a few times. They make them give everything away. It's like,
Yes,
no,
yes.
we don't.
That's true. Okay, okay, okay. That's very good. My clients are typically middle age. We're still gonna figure that place out. They want to get rid of family clutter built over time, and they are looking for ways to get control over all the fit. Okay, so I'll put it over there, over time, and then get control over clutter in their homes for good. Okay, so if you go to the next paragraph, next thing there that says they are looking for ways to get control over clutter in their homes. Remove all the physical clutter.
So where are we here? This piece
Over,
here.
yes, they are. And then ways to gain control
Oh,
over clutter, yeah, in their homes for good. So all to physical. Remove that.
yeah.
Okay. And then they are not clear on how to create systems to help. Are you doing it, or is delaying? I still see everything.
Okay, what did you want me to change? I wasn't quite sure.
Okay, 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 okay. I wanted you to remove all the physical.
Oh, so just
Very good. Yeah.
oops.
Very good. Okay. So they're looking for ways to gain control over clutter in their homes for good. They want to get rid of family clutter built over time. Okay. Very good. Over time or over the years. Okay. They are not clear on how to create systems to help them get and stay organized, without giving up their all the things they love. Yeah, that's good. Or we could also look for a shorter way of saying it. Do you have access to your golden message somewhere?
Yeah.
Typed? Typed? Do you have it
Oh,
typed
type
anywhere?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I just have to find it. Oh, come on. This go down here. What the heck? Where did it go? Oh, I discovered that I have been saving things to the wrong email, Google Docs. So,
Oh,
and then so I had to figure out how to get it to the right one.
I
That was,
see.
um,
You could, how
there
would you
you
do that? You share them,
go.
make them admin, and then,
Yes. Well, I
okay.
had it. Yeah, I had to share the. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I figured it out. It just took me some time. So,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I am a habit coach and professional organizer. I help busy women like you gain control over their clutter so they can reclaim their time and space in order to create more freedom in their lives without having to get rid of all the things they love.
Very good. You said something today. What was it? Who they wanna be. Um, so freedom, comparing freedom to who they wanna be, freedom sounds do you think freedom sound more like large scale compared to who they wanna be, or the other way around? Which one do you think? Because again, remember we wanna zone down, not be Oprah.
Great. So, yeah, freedom feels a bit generic, like freedom
For what?
for what? Freedom from clutter.
Hmm.
But does that actually say that, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe in order to
Find
become who it is
space,
they really want to
becoming,
be.
yeah, or even for regaining their personal worth, or person, let's
Yeah,
you
we're
still think about it for a bit. It's okay to still keep saying freedom, but as you're going, I'm sure something is gonna make it even clearer, that would make the word easier for people. Okay, so what I wanted from here was I wanted you to copy it and bring it back to that other place so that we can see them, can compare. Okay, so just put it down below.
oops.
Okay.
I forgot I'm not on my okay.
Okay, so very good. So want to get rid of a help busy mom, gain control over their clutter so they can. Okay. Okay, so they're looking to for looking for ways to gain control over clutter in their homes for good. They are not clear on how to create systems. Okay, so okay, they're not sure. They're not clear on how to create systems or easy system. Yeah, yeah, systems, easy. You're not sure how to create systems, because your formula is creating systems, but I would say they're not sure on in lay term words. They're not sure how to get organized. You can remove the create systems. They're not sure how to how to easily get organized and stay organized. How to easily,
Oops. Oh,
okay, yeah, easily. Without giving up, okay, without having to get rid of all the things they love. Yeah, without having to get rid of all the things they love. Yep, that's it. And they're willing. So now if you go back to my own up there.
I go back to here. Okay.
Okay, so it says Selma with videos. Okay, and so the main thing is they just don't want to get rid of everything they own. Okay, and then the next thing, portion of mine says they value their time and would happily pay for someone to take away the frustration and speed up the process for them. Can we say that in your own world? They value their, what do they value? Could it be their relationships? I don't know. I'm just saying. What inspired you the most to to push? and to get it done. Was there
I'm
any
struggling with words. They value their
time is good too, but I'm looking for something more, a little bit more.
they value their connection to community, relationships with family.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, and then what?
um, would I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, you can the easy the even the frustration and the and speed up the process. It's good for you as well. You can use
Yeah,
exactly the same word. But I like they would like to value their relationship with family and friends and connection to community. Now that is now the piece that I would want to clarify a little bit more and see what does that really mean, and say it's in a painful, where that there's a pain that they're avoiding.
that they're avoiding.
uh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I would say that the lack of connection with community and family and friends, people, um, comes from that. Often from that shame that they feel and embarrassment that they feel that their house is
Okay.
such a mess all the time.
Okay, so then we need to say that we need to say they value, or maybe it can even be the opposite. They are not, they're tired of the shame. Very good. And embarrassments. Very good. For what?
That was in their homes that um uh, oh, I hate menopause brain. I lose my word.
I
That
know.
their homes
I'm not
that
even in menopause. I lose my word too. So
oh well it gets worse. So what I'm trying to say is like that embarrassment and shame of the clutter that keeps them from bringing people into their homes. Is there a better way to say that?
okay, say it again. You want to say
They are tired of the shame and embarrassment, the clutter in their homes. Um,
they feel the clutter, they're tired of the shame and the embarrassment they feel, uh, uh, when people come visiting or something like that, and or even of not being able to invite people. You get the idea. So the value is, we don't need that
Don't
anymore.
need that. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need that anymore. But you will imply that. You have to, imply that this is it's like the opposite of what we just wrote. They value their family, but it's more, that's not too painful. It's not going to move people to action, as against, the shame of actually bringing somebody to your home and finding the place looking so horrible, or you hiding and meeting people at the door kind of thing. you know uh
So can I also add, like, they feel of not wanting to or being able to?
yeah.
Sometimes it's not as bad as they think it is, but they don't want people in because it's embarrassing.
Exactly. Yeah. And
So,
I think that's a lot common. It's more common than not being able to. I think I would even remove not being able to. Yeah, completely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now let's read. Halfway, it says they are looking for ways to gain control over clutter in their homes for good. They are not clear on how to easily get and stay organized without having to get rid of all the things they love. They are tired of the shame and embarrassments they feel of not wanting to invite people into their homes, and would like to pay for someone to help guide them through the frustrations and blocks to get their homes back quicker.
that's awkward, but
Yeah, it's a bit to get their homes back. This is the point where, oh, my other client is here. This is the
oh,
point where I would want to see how I can bring that freedom, or become whom they want to be, right? So that they can be that, because again, if they value their community, they want to be that amazing woman that has people over and loves people, and that's what they want to be, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh. So I would want to look at that and make it clear.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And once you're done, you can put it on in the group so that I can see what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
How far? Eight. Yes. You're ready? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would like you to do, and then you can put in on Facebook for me to see.
Okay. And so my last question was, like, then how would you suggest that I do my live this week? Like, I am completely at a loss of what to do. Do I just, because I was going to talk about the choosing your space. So just, should I just go on and
Choosing what?
choosing your space, like the space navigator kind of idea, how to choose a space? Should I
Okay.
just go
Okay.
on and just talk about that,
Yeah,
or?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So remember what we just did now is we zeroed in on who the what's the word again? The beginners are.
Yes.
Okay, and we're talking to the beginners.
Okay.
Okay. So once you begin to, do your live video, and when you're designing what you're gonna say, talk only to the beginner. You can put me in your mind, okay? And say Olu is a beginner, and she's like this, she is like this, she's like this. And I'm doing this video for her,
Okay.
right? And that's what now going to determine, the examples that you're going to use, and try not to go back to help the drifters. Bring your message up to, so that any drifter that wants to talk to you would need to rise up, right?
All right.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay. I will do
Cool.
my best.
And always remember that even when you do it, it's over and over again. The more you're doing it, the more you're practicing it, the better it's going to be for you. It's not going to happen one day,
Okay.
and so this same video that you're doing this week, you're still going to do it again in 6 months. And when you do it in 6 months, you will be clearer, and
Okay.
it will be more magnetic, and all that.
All
Okay,
right.
so I'm going to
Thank you.
stop. You're very welcome. I'm going to stop the live stream for you.